Welcome to Championship Sports Blog. I am your host, Chandler. Today we have a very special guest, long time coming. Been wanting to have this guy on for a while, and I can't wait any longer. He's making some noise in the wrestling business again with Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Our guest today, the Don Big Vito Lograsso. Thanks for coming on, man.
How's it, everybody? How's everybody doing? The Championship Sports Blog is the greatest place to be. He's got a Rogers jersey in the back. I'm the Don of Pro Wrestling, Big Vito Lograsso, JCW. Everybody, I want you to listen to this interview. It's going to be really good. All right. And we might even have to charge you a couple extra dollars for listening to me. But that's the way we roll around here. All right, Chandler, go ahead. Give me your first question. I know you're busting at the seams.
Oh, yes, sir. What made you want to become a professional wrestler?
I like kicking ass.
Hell
Basically.
yeah.
And you know, when you're on the streets, you can get arrested. So when you talk about kicking ass, you're going to professional wrestling. You know, and that's
Yes,
where
sir.
I was. You know what I'm saying? So I went from the streets and I went to Gleason's gym, you know, and these got me a long way. So that's how I became interested in wrestling. I didn't want to get arrested anymore, so I made it legit. You know what I mean?
Hell
Chandler,
yeah.
you should try it sometime. Go into the gym, kick some ass. This championship blog will take off.
Oh
People
yeah.
be afraid when you walk in. People carry your mother's bags home from the grocery store. You walk into a restaurant, they're going to serve you an appetizer without even asking.
Yes,
Chandler, this
sir.
could be you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been trying to put some work in the gym. I haven't been as consistent as I'd like to be. But what were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Oh, man. I'd say, Bruno was good. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Chief Jay Strongbow, George the Animal Steel, Pedro Morales, Stan the Man Haziak, you know what I mean? I mean, there's so many greats from the old time that, we only used to watch WOR back then. So, I mean,
Hmm.
it's only one kind of wrestling. So, Spiros Arion, Don Leo Jonathan, Ivan Putski, Johnny Rods, Cousin Luke, um, Ken Patera, there was Mr. Fuji, the Grand Wizard, Lou Albano, Bobby Heenan, Mean Gene, Freddie Blassie. So many greats in the business that it's too many to name. Honestly, I mean, they were the greats. You know what I mean? I'm probably missing some. I apologize,
Hmm.
but we're on a short schedule here. All right.
Yeah, and you came into the business at a really unique time too, because you got to work with some of the people that you grew up watching and they also worked in the '80s as well as the '90s. So when you broke into the WWF, what was it like working with some of those guys? Like you got to see the Undertaker and the Bret Hart you've worked with.
These guys, were just starting to be recognized in the 90s, early 90s, 91, 92, So, and these guys were seasoned and they came from like an era of old school training. And here they are in the WWF, and I came from Johnny Rods' school. So these guys just didn't like beat you up. These were
Hmm.
pros who took the time to teach you and work with you. And that's what helped me grow in the business, working with all these like Davey Boy Smith, the boss man, high energy. I worked the whole Heart Foundation. I mean, there's so many people who I worked. I worked just about everybody in the industry. And, a lot
Hmm.
of them, I'd say 90% of them took the time to teach me back then, which I'm grateful for.
And a lot of people don't realize that you were working some of those people back then. Like you could go and watch a really old Raw '93 or so, and you might be on there working somebody. What was it like working in ECW back in the day?
ECW was a unique place and had a lot of great talent. It was all these guys wanted to be somebody in the wrestling business and they found their niche in ECW. And it was a cult following, was something special, a good group of people. And I have to say that being in ECW taught you a lot of things. It was a different kind of locker room. It was a
Hmm.
good atmosphere to be in. And, it's still a special place. When you say ECW, like I was just at a personal appearance, I seen Bill Alfonso, and I've seen a few other guys who I haven't seen. Jim Molyneux, I haven't
Hmm.
seen in a long time. I saw Gary Wolf, um, Angel. Uh, it was nice. It's nice. You know what I mean? You can reconnect
Hmm.
and you see everybody, doing their thing still. So I mean, it was a pleasure to work with everybody back then.
Hmm. And you also would make a splash in WCW. You were a former WCW Tag Team Champion. You're also a former WCW Hardcore Champion. One of the matches I remember, you worked with Terry Funk on Nitro. What was it like working with the late great Terry Funk?
I worked the greatest hardcore, probably one of the toughest men in the business. It was an honor and a privilege working with him that night. And when the final bell came, I happened to defeat him that night. And the man did me the greatest honor of all by handing me the championship belt and shaking my hand in the middle of the ring in front of millions of people watching. And that was his endorsement to me that Big Vito has arrived and he's one of the boys and he's somebody who's legit. And I can't thank him enough. I thank him on every interview. And for all the Funk
Hmm.
family who might be watching, thank you, to whoever Terry Funk is related to because he made a significant difference in my career and I appreciate it immensely.
Yeah, Terry Funk, he's one of the greatest of all time for sure. And another memory I've got of WCW with Vito is Starcade 2000. So that's WCW's like WrestleMania. Do you have any memories of being on that card, Starcade 2000? You teamed up with Reno.
My brother Reno, I think we wrestled Chronic that day and he turned
Yes,
against me.
sir, you did.
Anytime you wrestle on a Starcade or Bash at the Beach or any of the WCW pay per views, it was always a great honor because the legacy of WCW and what
Hmm.
those, Halloween Havoc and all those pay per views meant. So just to be part of it is an honor. To be mentioned in the same sentence as Starcade, back when Starcade was Starcade, I mean, is a great privilege. And that's something that a lot of people would have gave their left arm to be just to stand ringside. But I actually got to perform on the pay per view and be part of
Hmm.
this.
Yes, sir. And going a little bit further into your career, when you came back to WWE, in like what was that, 2005, 2006 time period? Whose idea was it for the dress gimmick?
I was under federal investigation. I was in a lot of trouble in Staten Island, so we had to come up with something to deviate from my popularity being a mobster because I was wrestling in
Hmm.
the suit, the FBI. So I had to come. We had to come up with something so to get out of that and put the emphasis on just characterization. So that's why I did that. And a lot of people
Hmm.
find that out today. And I didn't want to spend time in jail. I mean, be honest with you.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you one bit. And you talk about kicking ass in the streets. It doesn't get any realer when you have family ties that you have. Tell us a little bit about your family heritage and your relation to Charles Luciano.
Well, I grew up in the streets of Brooklyn, Staten Island, the five boroughs. And, I used to work for some of the families there. And back in the day, and I used to working all the wise guy nightclubs. So I developed a
Hmm.
good reputation, taking care of business then. And I worked some very prestigious construction jobs, jackhammer union, laborers union. But my only job wasn't just to work; it was just to keep an eye out or protect the investment of some others. So that's how I got, you know, really hone my craft. Just in learning living that legacy in my family, being related to Lucky Luciano, which I found out later in time,
Hmm.
which kind of like saved me in a lot of ways because back then, you know, I was in the clubs, I had a gun point to my head, I had people point knives on me, and a lot of things that happen in the streets and you handle your business. But like at the end of the day, because I handled it that way without the signature of Luciano attached to my name,
Mhm.
maybe things would have been different and I wouldn't be sitting here today. But being that I am now a legacy to my uncle and using
Mhm.
this in the wrestling business in a positive way and shining light on how he did some, maybe not so good things, but then again, he did do some great things for our country, which people don't
Mhm.
talk about. And it's just a revelation and just something that's, kept in a good way in my heart. I did not meet him. I did not know him. I only know of his legacy.
Right.
And, you know, I can't, what could you say? I mean, being related to somebody like that and knowing your own family history, along with, being, how would you say it? Being raised in that atmosphere and being raised in that culture, it definitely
Mhm.
helped me with who I am today and who I portray on TV.
Right. And you say you didn't find that out till later in time. Like when do you think you found that out time period wise?
It was about a couple years ago. It was
Really?
yeah, it was funny because as a kid, my mother had come to me one day. I was about 12 years old, and she said I had to go to my father's funeral. You need to come with me.
Mhm.
I said, yeah, but he's in Staten Island. I said, what are you talking about? He lived around the corner. This is a grandfather I knew. I said, no, this is my real father. So it's my mother's father who's related, and that's how I am related to uh, Charles Luciano. So I mean, it's definitely something. And when I went to the funeral and I met the other side of the family, it was a one-time meeting. Met them all. They saw my mother. They hugged her. They kissed her. It was just one of those things where you know uh, everybody has it in life, guys. You know what I mean? It's just that
Mhm.
my recollection of it and what I was involved with just had a higher profile than most people. And everybody out there has a mom or dad they don't know about and they don't find out. This guy's a bum. This guy's famous. This guy's a so and so. This guy's a so and so. But whatever happened between them and knowing who I'm related to and the people who I was brought up with, and now it all makes sense now on why there was some friction in our family and
Mhm.
somebody didn't like each other, but you can never understand why. So now you understand, and you're like, okay, I get it. But
Mhm.
all the past is history, and from my childhood on my mother's side of the family, I had some of the greatest times in my life, and uh, my aunts, my uncles, I couldn't think of a better way to grow up, with those people and my family. My nickname, everybody's my nickname was my middle name is Vito Joseph.
Mm.
So they used to call me Jojo.
Okay.
So my mother hated the name Vito. My family hated the name Vito, so they used to call me Jojo. I still answer to
Mhm.
Jojo today when I hear it. You know what I mean?
Right.
If there's somebody around and they say, "Hey Jojo," I will turn around and look because it's like and that's how I grew up as Jojo. And like I said, not every family has bad things. I only remember the good things, and like we're just sitting there talking. And sometimes pictures pop up of my childhood where I'm hitting a
Mhm.
clown, or you see a birthday party, or you see, those are good things. You know what I mean? So I grew up good. You know what I mean? I had a good family. And not everybody's family stays together. Not everybody's family, bonds. If you grow distant, but you
Mhm.
don't forget the people who you grew up with. And I always remember those people. And I thank them for treating me good and giving me a good childhood. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I respect that outlook on life too. Just to look at things in a positive light. I respect that a lot. So tell us about this Aaron Rodgers jersey a little bit. Are you an Aaron Rodgers fan yourself?
Well, when he played for the Jets,
Yeah. So what makes so how long have you been a Jets fan?
I've been a Jets fan my whole life. I like the Mets, the Jets, the Knicks. I mean, And we've had some good quarterbacks. I mean, nobody beats Tops Joe Namath. We've had some
No.
great quarterbacks. When Brett Favre came over, we thought that this was going to be it. When Aaron Rodgers came over, everybody thought, okay, now we're really going to make some strides. For some reason, no matter what we're doing with quarterbacks, we cannot produce a winning team.
Mm-mm.
But today, as we're speaking, I believe there's a game on where Sam Darnold was once a
Yeah,
Jets quarterback, and he's in, I think,
and
the
he's killing it.
AFC Finals. He's
He's
killing it.
killing it.
He's killing it away from the Jets. And that's Geno Smith was another first round pick. He's killing it. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of Jet players who came through the system who are striving now elsewhere. And you say, okay, what happened? It's got to be the system, got to be the
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere. I don't know what it is, but Aaron Rodgers, a talent, a great quarterback. And the last year he played with the Jets, he didn't have a bad year.
I thought he
He
played
just,
pretty good,
I think he played good.
like
He just didn't
for
have
how old he is.
age thing. Is you can look at the quarterback who just came back through a 44-yard, through a 50-yard pass.
Philip
Who's
Rivers.
44 years old. Yeah, you look at all these guys coming back to throw, and these guys haven't been hit. They haven't been training. They probably stay in shape. But when you're
Right.
talking going into a pro game and going to pro speed, it doesn't matter how old you are. Repetition and knowing what to do in these circumstances. Aaron Rodgers just had a great season with Pittsburgh, right?
He did. He
And
did.
and then they say, and every year, oh, is Aaron? He plays the game. Yeah, I'm going to come back. I would have liked to see Mike Tomlin stay at Pittsburgh
Me
with
too.
Aaron
Me
Rodgers.
too.
I think they would have went further, but Mike Tomlin, this is for you sports fans anyway. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, but we're talking about great players and coaches. Mike Tomlin was there for 19, 20 years. Never had a losing season. He just didn't win in the playoffs. Never won one Super Bowl, right? Had great
Mm-hmm.
players, had great quarterbacks. Not to have a losing season, but you lose in the first round, second round, 19, 20 years, you say, okay, maybe for a change. You can't knock success. And you can't. And when you had a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, they were 10-7 the regular season. Everything is cool. They
Mm-hmm.
got to the playoffs, and then it just okay, that was it. They couldn't, but they played the Ravens, who had a great, great defense.
They did.
You know what I mean? And they're killers. So I mean, it's a yay and a nay, and everybody can't win every day, but it doesn't take away from Aaron Rodgers and his jersey and what he's done for the sport. Great quarterback. Great quarterback.
Oh yeah, he's one of the greatest to ever do it, and I hope we see him again next year. The Steelers just hired Mike McCarthy as their head coach. It seems like that's going to be a thing, and he worked with Aaron in Green Bay. Maybe we'll see them go at it next year. And yeah, as you said, like with Mike Tomlin, like you can't knock success. We're looking at a league right now where Sean McDermott, John Harbaugh, and Mike Tomlin can't keep their job. That's pretty wild. But as far as the wrestling business, we'll get back on that. With WWE, do you ever see yourself returning to the WWE? I know we've talked about that before, and I was clamoring for you to go to NXT so bad. I think that was last year when they had like a mystery opponent or something they announced for Tony D'Angelo, and I was like, oh my god, they might actually do it. And it's like, nah, man, it's not me. I'm like, gosh, man. But
Yeah,
do you
bro.
think you ever see yourself
I
there?
just did an interview with Bill Apter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bill, Bill had me announced that I'm going to the Royal Rumble representing JCW. He asked me what number I want to be. I said, I want to be number one. He says, you want to stay. Being Vito, I want to stay the whole 30 people. I want to stay for the hour. I want to wrestle everybody and then, represent where I'm coming from. Do I see
Yeah.
myself going back? You never say never. It can happen. It can happen. But with the success I'm having in JCW and everything I'm doing right now, anything is possible. But I'm happy with JCW. They're doing great things. A great crew, great writer, and Vince Russo writing for storylines and producing. We went from 10,000 people to 50,000 people, on YouTube. That's a significant jump since the both of us went there. So, I mean, sky's the limit. Everybody hopes we get a TV deal. If that happens, hey, like I said, we're going to move forward.
Yeah, I hope to see y'all get a TV deal, and y'all are actually really making some noise. And I was seeing it because I follow all you guys anyway. But then I started seeing like everybody was seeing it. I was like, oh, this is great. What is your relationship like with Vince Russo?
We've been friends for 35 years, and we've been best buddies for a long time. You know what I mean? We have a good
Hmm.
relationship with friends, and it's just Vince is his own person. Everybody gives him the short end of the stick, but now with him doing this at JCW and actually proving the critics wrong, the ratings have come up, the characters have come up, their storylines, everybody's happy. He's doing something he's done his whole career in every place he's written, and he's proven everybody wrong by doing what he's doing. So, I mean, you
Hmm.
can't knock him because success is there, the ratings are there, proof is in the pudding. Whether you like him or hate him, Vince Russo ruined WC. Vince Russo ruined here. Vince Russo ruined the attitude. Yeah, okay. Is Vince Russo ruining JCW too? I don't think so,
Exactly.
guys. And this is not speaking his praise and the bro, but for facts are facts. You get asked to write for 4 or 5 different companies. You got to be good at something, and he's good
Hmm.
at writing.
Yeah, he's definitely a talented individual, and he's definitely a polarizing individual, and I think that adds to the drama and entertainment of JCW. And you never know what you're going to see on there. The other day you see uh, there's a guy making pizzas. Here comes Vito, and he's like, I need this pizza, this pizza, this pizza, and the guy's like, I got a match. Just crazy, crazy. You never know what you're gonna see. Maybe
What's
if I
funny is that, being the Don, since I've been there, I've fought zombies, I fought
yeah, I
vampires,
saw that.
I fought clowns, I fought monsters. I'm fighting with Violent J, right? I'm at odds with Russo. I don't like nobody. But the people in Juggalo land love me to death,
Hmm.
which is good, right? So the
Right.
character and my personality blends with these people, blends with the company. The company is doing very well. Story is good. Who will I fight with next? Because this isn't going to end between me and Violent J until both of us are face to face again. And that could be for a very long time. So I'm not backing down. He's not backing down. He keeps putting up these bullshit videos about a TikTok. And I'm like, you really think you're freaking scaring me? You know?
Yeah.
You friggin' doing your friggin' girlfriend's thing. My girlfriend made a TikTok for me. Big friggin' deal. I don't really give a shit. Wipe that shit off your face, have a cream soda, and have a good day, Jay. All right? All right, but like, you know what?
uh,
But I think you saw the video of me retaliating, putting a bunch of gigolos in a
yeah.
in a
Yeah. It's hilarious. I love it.
So I mean, it's a good time. This is what wrestling's supposed to be, people.
Yeah.
This is what you're supposed to be watching. And I'm glad
It's fun.
everybody's enjoying it. And I'm glad everybody's tuning into JCW and just keep on, sharing the love and, promoting our brand. It's all good.
Yes, sir. And so tell us a little bit about your role with JCW, and tell us about some of these products you've been selling, like the what is it? No, it's not
I
the
got it right
Fago.
here. Hold on.
Oh,
Dago
here we
juice.
go.
Dago juice. Guys, you got
I
one
got
for
it right here.
$45 shipping, right? But we'll do 2 for 40. Hit me up at
Okay.
bigvito.com, fill out the form, and we'll send you some. And don't make no fugazi payments, all right? We got friggin' the cash deal, all right? So send it to want some Dago? I got it. All right. Now, character, I'm the protector of the investments. I'm there to
There it is.
protect Vince Russo, right? But Vince doesn't like my methods, and my methods have been doing this for a long time. JCW doesn't like my methods. The Juggalos don't like my methods. They're full of love. I'm full of hate. So it's a good balance. So, I mean, that's what it's about right
You're
now. And
cleaning this place up.
huh?
You're cleaning this place up.
I'm cleaning it up, getting rid of everybody one by, and I'm indestructible. I have fought all these monsters, these evil gumads. You know who I'm talking about,
Oh
people.
yeah.
Anyway, so you're talking about all this stuff I'm going through at JCW, but all these characters that I'm interacting with have come to life, and they're real life figures now, right? Just with
Mhm.
me being involved with them and coming up. And before that, you never heard of these guys in JCW unless you watched that specific niche. Now it's it's spreading. The world is watching. The wrestling world is watching. Everybody knows about it. It's fun. And to watch me interact with all these people, the the vignettes with the zombies and the clowns, um,
Mhm.
are great. You know, the goal they like, I love it, and these guys have elevated themselves.
Oh yeah.
Me and Vampiro had some good segments together. Me and Russo have good segments together. Jasmine St. Clair and I have great segments together, right? The Monster Corp and myself have good segments together. So it's a combination of everybody blending in. And you know what makes wrestling good? If you don't react to the other person, it's going to be crap. If you
Mhm.
react and counter react with people and you get a chemistry going, then it's something you want to watch and you're interested in. It's not boring, it's fun.
Right. Yeah, and I saw once I knew JCW was starting to gain a little traction. I was whenever we had Mr. Ken Anderson on, and at the end of the interview, he was like, "Oh, I'm about to wrestle for the Clowns this weekend," and I was like, "Oh man, I just saw that on Vito's stuff." I was like, "Man, they're starting to gain some traction. That's awesome." Um, and watching that stuff, that character you portrayed on that show, I really think that could have worked with NXT and Tony D'Angelo. I thought that would have been a uh, great
It was
idea.
a
But
match made in heaven and something that should have happened but didn't. But you never know what can happen. Maybe Tony will come and visit me over JCW. You never
right,
know,
that was you never
right?
know. And the
Never know
reason
what can
I
happen.
was
So, and you know
I
what?
was
I'm going to
so
say this. I know I'm going to say this, but I always praised his work, and I thought he's a good worker. He just doesn't have that next step. He needed that one vet to bring him up, to stand by his side. And if
Yeah,
he
I'm
had
worried it might not
that,
work on the main roster, I'm worried.
trying to do that by yourself, and you don't know the character. Not that you don't know, but adding a vet to you enhances you and brings you up. The pressure is not on 100%, right? I
Mhm.
still say if he had to portray that character, but like the character he's doing now, he's not saying nothing. And if I was to step in, oh my God, the place would erupt.
It
Because that's
would.
what this is what they have been expecting for the past couple years. So doing that, they made a story happen. They write it
Mhm.
correctly. If he came to JCW and he was my guy, we would wipe out the nation.
Oh, yeah.
My guy. So it works hand in hand. We work good together. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
yeah.
in time, if it happens, it would be an awesome thing. And and like I said, he's got all the tools. He does have all the tools.
Yes, sir, and, why I was wanting it to happen so bad, even more so, is when they teased us a little bit, and they had, a show in the old ECW arena, had Nunzio, and I'm like, "God, can we not just get Vito on there?" It would be an awesome moment.
That would have been what everybody wanted. That
It
was what
was.
everybody wanted. So,
It was.
hey, but
But
different time. Now it's a different time. And the big Vito, the Don character, has hit the mainstream really
mhm,
good. So now everybody knows what it's about, which is the positive thing. And it's thankful. And I did it in JCW. And remember, when I did the Don character, I had no TV. I had only social media, and I built this character from social media. I didn't have television. Now that I have
mhm.
television on top of it, this is awesome. It's a great thing.
It is awesome, and I've been able to see the growth of the Don character over the last couple of years, and it's been awesome to watch and very entertaining to watch. Another question I got for you is back when WWF purchased WCW, did you think that you were going to get a contract offered to you around that time, and were you surprised that it took so long to, or not necessarily take so long, but were you surprised when you didn't get to go to WWE until return to WWE, that is, till 2006?
Everybody was disappointed. I wasn't the only guy who didn't get a contract, if you remember.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? Steiner, I believe Steiner didn't get a contract. Goldberg didn't get a
Sting,
contract. Mysterio
Goldberg.
didn't get a contract. A lot of guys didn't get contracts. I wasn't the only one. You know,
Hmm.
it's a shame that me and Johnny the Bull couldn't have done our tag team at that time in WWE. That's what everybody expected.
Hmm.
But it is what it is. There's a lot of things that went on backstage in the offices that
Hmm.
people don't talk about. But it was a decision they made, and they lived with it. But I still got the opportunity to be with Nunzio and be part of the FBI. If the four of us were together, Nunzio, Johnny Stamboli, Chuck Paloma, and myself, we would have been a great foursome together, and the FBI would have been more uh, well conditioned and more recognizable and done greater things if the four of us were together.
I definitely agree with that. And there's been times on record, guys like Kurt Angle and Dutch Mantel have both said that uh, you had all the tools to be a big star with that group, and it didn't always go your way because of the creative and different time periods of different members being involved. Um, Back in the day, you were also involved with All Japan Pro Wrestling. I was going to ask you what your memories were of pinning Mitsuharu Misawa in a battle royal back in 1998.
People still talk about that today, and I pinned the greatest wrestler of our generation. And wrestling in Old Japan at that time, they had the best wrestlers in the world. And if you went to Japan, you wrestled for Old Japan or New Japan, you were
Mhm.
with the best of the best. So I got a chance to be with the best of the best. And then I went to World Japan, NOW, and I wrestled some great wrestlers. I mean, I tagged with Tenru. I wrestled against Mizawa. Uh, I wrestled against Fujinami. I wrestled
Oh
against some
wow.
other great wrestlers. So I mean, when you say those names, those are probably the top. They're in the top 5, 6 wrestlers of all time in Japan. So I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's something when you look at my legacy and you say, "Wow, you really did wrestle all these greats."
You really
So
did. Yeah, I mean, when you can say you wrestled Bret Hart, Masawa, Tenru, I mean, just from back then and evolution passing by, you could see you've wrestled a lot of the greats, Terry Funk, you name it. You did make a brief stint with TNA. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
it was a brief stint in TNA where I came in as a made guy. Right before I became the Don, and
Hmm.
Trinity, Glenn Gilberti, and Johnny Swinger, myself, we had a good foursome. 2 weeks into it, they fired Glenn Gilberti and Johnny Swinger.
Damn it.
Don't ask me why, but
And that wasn't your first time working with Glenn, because you worked with him in WCW, and you actually had a tag team match with him at one point. You teamed up with him on a WCW Nitro New Year's Evil, the first one. Now that nowadays they do the NXT New Year's Evil, but the very first one was 1999 WCW, and they had a lethal lottery tournament. And I think AEW kind of does something along those lines. Every now and then they'll do a tag team tournament where the team members are like mixed matched. They might not get along, and
right.
they did that tournament at WCW, and you were paired with Glenn Gilberti. Do you have any memories of working with him?
Always fun, always creative, always a good time. Glenn loved the business, and he's a good worker. And a lot of guys give him a lot of flack, but he got to do a lot of good things in the wrestling business as well. I mean,
Hmm.
never a bad word between us. Always a good time. So all good.
And that's Disco Inferno for the people that don't know who we're talking about. And you mentioned he gets a lot of slack. Yeah, I saw a few years ago Cody Rhodes was harping on him. So, and I never understood what the hate of him was, why everybody was hating on him so much. Do you have any memories of working with USWA back in the day?
Skull on Crush, USWA, Memphis Memory Show. Watched the greatest of all time. I wrestled the Rock and Roll Express, wrestled Dream It Team, Jerry Lawler, Brian Christopher. Turned Del Rios into the Spellbinder. Had some really good segments there. Wrestled in the Mid South Coliseum. Got to
Oh
live the
wow.
Memphis lifestyle. Learned a great thing in a great territory. And was involved in the Jerry Lawler, Eddie Gilbert feud. If you guys go to Raging the Cage, you'll see me coming in, unlocking everybody, and beating the hell out of people. So, I mean, it's all good. I mean, USWA, it's another territory I worked.
Heck yeah, yeah. That sounds like a awesome time to be a wrestling fan. And we're gonna move on to another segment we usually do with people on here. I have another Instagram page other than Championship Sports Blog called Championship Sports Figures. Make sure everybody follows that. That's watching this video. And we post action figures. And every time we do an interview with a wrestler, we like to show them their action figures. The unfortunate part of this is that I do not have a Vito action figure, and that is because there is not one to my knowledge. Can you tell us about that? And is there any chance we get a Vito action figure in the future?
There is a good possibility for a Vito action figure. And the reason for the non action figure was, ah, let's see, how can we say this nicely? A lot of backstage stuff, that's all. A lot of
Heard
office
that.
stuff that happened back then. And, you know, when you look at my legacy and you see where I should have been and who was in charge and who did what and who held people back and where they are not today, you probably put together the pieces. I can't speak badly about anybody because right now I am doing some of the best work of my career and good things will happen for me. Whatever happened
Hmm.
back then, maybe it wasn't supposed to happen, but now maybe there will be 2 or 3 action figures. Maybe there will be some merchandise instead of making my own on ProWrestlingTees.com. Maybe there will
Hmm.
be a company to invest in the merch. That's the next step we're looking at. So wrestling with JCW brought me a lot of prominence, has done a lot of great things for my career, brought me in the limelight again. So there are things in the works. So hopefully we can announce something soon. And maybe it will be something where people will buy. And you know what? You're not the first person to ask. There are probably, I hate to say or brag or say, say the millions and millions, but
Hmm.
there is a good population of people
I
from the
believe it.
last 35 years of me wrestling that would love to have my action figure. And I know if a company said, hey, let's make this, I know that it will sell. And in me autographing it, it will be worth something because people want it.
Hmm.
So it's out there, guys. So let's just hope for it. And they asked me to be, they say, you should be in the next video game and as the Don. If they put me in, great. If they include me, great. If not, JCW might come up with their own video game, and I'll be in that one.
There you go. Exactly. And yeah, there definitely is people clamoring for an action figure from you. And it's more people than people would actually think because I mean, if you look back at the Jax ruthless aggression era of
Right.
figures, they made almost everybody. I mean, they've got the Gemini brothers, like people that I'm saying them right now, and people probably don't even know who I'm talking about. Like they never made a veto, and it's baffling to me. And like and that could have been a toyetic figure too with even with your dress gimmick like that could have sold. I really could have, and I would have loved to have one in
I
my
said,
collection.
backstage stuff, office
Hmm.
stuff that that like I said, I was held back, and it was a travesty to me in my career. But we can't look at that now. We look at today. And today I'm striving. So me striving today, there will be action figures, there'll be video games, there'll be something. So I'm just happy to be able to do this now and do my thing. And I'm happy to be here doing this.
Of course. Maybe we'll see Vito in action figure form with the major wrestling company or something of that nature. Maybe a big rubber guy or something like that. I'm hoping for it.
Gotta have
Or
some.
maybe say it again.
Gotta have some. Gotta have
Gotta have
something.
something. Yes, sir. And the last question I got for you is so I've heard you talk about it before. What is your I've heard you talk about having some kind of beef with The Rock. Would you like to elaborate on that at all?
This has been a beef with The Rock for many years since he came on board. I've been compared to The Rock. They said, Vito, you're more handsome than The Rock. Vito, you're better after The Rock. Vito, you're better than The Rock. So I just go along with it, and I entertain people with it. You know what I'm saying? The funny thing is you guys you'll love this. I never met The Rock.
Hell yeah.
He is one of the few guys in the business who's had longevity. I have never met The Rock.
That is
I
wild.
always say I always say my thing. You're a B-lister. You're wrestling stinks. You're stealing my clothes. Better looking than you. But when you talk about it, right? I've never met the guy, and I've been in magazines where he's on one side, I'm on the other. We've never crossed paths. I never shook his hand. Never nothing.
that is
Maybe one
hilarious.
day I will be able to meet him, and talk to him, and he might have a beef. I'm tired of you two, because people said, you're better looking than I am, but
You're
you're not
always
the Rock.
talking shit.
Well, you're not Big Vito. So what do you want to do about it? But in all respectfully, like as a peer and as like somebody in the business, there's somebody another gentleman who I never met. I never met Brock Lesnar.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I
That is
never met Brock
surprising.
Lesnar. And
And
you want to know what? And you want to know something? The Rock. In all seriousness, guys. There's a lot of camaraderie that you put out. But when you look at the
mhm.
Rock's career, you can't deny it. I mean,
Oh,
superstar of
it's
super.
incredible.
And then when you talk about Brock Lesnar, you know, here's a guy, and I look at Brock Lesnar as an athlete, not as a wrestler, not as a UFC fighter, but as an athlete.
Mhm.
And the best part of his athletic career is his football child.
For the Minnesota Vikings?
Yep. I watched that because he went from wrestling, jumped into pro football, and almost made the team.
Isn't that amazing?
And you think about it, right? And I'm sure politics had a play in there
Oh,
somewhere.
they did, I'm
Okay,
sure.
definitely, right?
But
But
you
when you
do the
look
eye
at it,
test.
when he was throwing around linemen and going in there, and it was just a freak athlete doing something that, like, I was like so impressed. And I say, yes, he's been WWE champion. He's been
Mhm.
a Japanese champion. He's been NCAA NCAA champion. He's been a UFC
UFC champ.
champion. But those are great. But the greatest athletic thing he did was almost make a pro football team from zero to here. That's almost impossible. And
It's
that's what I
insane.
look at Brock Lesnar is, even though he's still wrestling, he's a great wrestler, does all these great things. But as an athlete, and I am an athlete, I've played many sports, I've done many things, right?
Mhm.
Being able to do that, I mean, that was incredible. And if I haven't met him, I would say, you know, I'm a great fan of your career. It's not wrestling, it has nothing to do with it fighting. It's your football career. It was intriguing. It was amazing. You know what I mean? Knocking heads with all those
Mhm.
real pros and all pros and seasoned guys who played their whole lives. And here he comes walking off the street and goes, I'm going to play pro football. And if I bet you if they really gave him a chance and they would have made the team, I bet you he would have had a good NFL career.
I think he would have too. I think he was destined to succeed at whatever he chose to succeed at. I mean, he's a beast. He really is. I mean, when you can be at the top level of collegiate wrestling, UFC, NFL, like everything he touched, it turned to gold pretty much, and that's hard to come by.
But like I said, guys, when you look at sports and people where they come from, when you look at personal life, athlete, I consider myself an athlete, and I still have my athleticism. I still have my athletic ability. And you talk about some of the things I've done, but like doing it at that level to go into a different sport.
Hmm.
I was supposed to be a basketball player. I wasn't supposed to be a wrestler. I tried out for the Olympic baseball team. I was going to play semi-pro football. I made it in pro wrestling, right?
Hmm.
But we'll talk about that. I mean, awesome stuff. I mean, there's two guys there who I never met. I'd love to meet them one day. Talk to them. And just share some like insight on their careers. And it would be an honor and a privilege. And that's as respectful as you can be to somebody in your sport.
Yes, sir. Do you still talk to the FBI guys like Stan Boley and all them guys?
Anunzio once in a while, Johnny once in a while. That's about it. Just once in a while.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know we had that technical difficulties earlier, so I don't
No
want to take
worries.
too much of your time. But that's about all we've got here. And do you want to plug up some of your stuff? And you
Sure.
can
Thank
follow
you
him
very
at the
much for
Big
that.
Vito brand on
All right.
Instagram. The Big Vito brand.
Guys, we got the Big Vito brand on Instagram. We got the Big Vito brand on X. Big Vito brand on Facebook. Go to Twitch. Go to my YouTube channel, the Big Vito brand. Guys, I'm everywhere. LinkedIn. Check out the Big Vito brand. If you want to contact me, go to bigvito.com. That's my website. If you need to email me, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitch. Send me a personal message. Get with my man Chandler here at the Championship Sports Blog. He'll definitely get a message to me. I want to thank everybody for watching and thank everybody. Keep watching JCW. Chandler, thank you for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it. And
My
I'll talk.
pleasure, sir.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. Championship Sports Blog, Vito, the Don, Chandler. We're out.